Di malam ini saya nak belum malam betul. Ya, pasal kita tukar negara, tukar cuaca, tukar waktu ni memang membingungkan. Kita akan bicarakan ya, apa dia langkah-langkah ya, yang mesti dilakukan. Yang sebenarnya bukan tanggungjawab pemerintah sahaja. Ia tanggungjawab seluruh kekuatan negara dan rakyatnya. Dan ini yang saya nak bicarakan. Rakan sekalian menteri tadi, Zamri, Zafrul dan Jo, bawa tentang beberapa hal yang menjadi tumpuan. Kalau sudah dengar ucapan-ucapan mereka, mereka tidak hanya menyebut tentang apa yang telah dijalankan selama ini, tetapi mereka membawa suatu pesan, gesaan tentang apa yang harus ditingkatkan, perubahan yang harus dilakukan. And I think this is pertinent for our nation, that will require the participation and commitment of all. Why do I suggest that? Because you are here. You are exposed to a center of Europe. The changes, the phenomenal change that have taken place, the challenges, the political turmoil, the sentiments, racial or challenges, immigration, the new technology, the concern about environment, the discourse on immigration, and AI. Now, such exposure must be well understood. You have to grasp the issues. Because invariably, any country, including an emerging economy like Malaysia, will have to undergo this, will have to understand that in order to chart a new future and to execute this effectively, then there are issues, there are new disciplines that you have to acquire. It is not easy because for a growing and emerging economy, the funds required is enormous. But we have to then ensure that our priorities are right. Yes, as Amri has said, we are fortunate because Malaysia now has also become and turning to be a major attraction, not only of tourism, but also educational institutions in all fields, in science and technology, and semiconductors. I've visited many developing countries. They have asked us for our help to allow their students, their young professionals, to be associated with some of our data centers and semiconductor industry. And this, of course, relates to also the strength of our university working collaboratively in tandem with the industries. Now, which means new disciplines and new technology. And as I have often said, we are living in post-normal times, unprecedented. It's very difficult to predict. Not only in the politics, everywhere I go, including these few countries during the recent visit, they will ask, what's your view on the elections in the United States and Trump's policies? Because it's unpredictable. But there's one facet, changes in Europe, in countries. The rise of the far right or growing fascism, the sentiments against minorities or religion, or the other religion, or racial groups. We have to learn and see what are the flaws. And we, unlike the past, past generations, have now that responsibility to showcase, no, we cannot accept this change. You can decide for your own country, but Malaysia will remain a successful, viable, peaceful, multiracial, multireligious country. That's what Madani is all about. Yes, Islam is the religion of the federation. The Malays, the Bumiputras are the majority. You have royal institutions. We acknowledge and accept constitutional guarantees, the position of the Malay language. That is why I certainly will not concede the fact that all Malaysians need to have that acquisition and level of proficiency which is acceptable. But then we also know that in order to succeed, we have to embark to this and accept the new realities. In German, they talk about Zeitgeist, the challenge, the dictates of the times, which require us to acquire the level of proficiency and mastery of other languages, namely English, and some German or French or Arabic, or in the region, Mandarin. So these are the realities. It's not a zero-sum game, as some of these political jokers are trying to portray in the country. When I say we need to also enhance the level of proficiency in the English language, you say, tengok Anwar, he has now reneged his promise to accept, and he's now a traitor to the Malays because he rejected the Malay language. See, this sort of mentality still applies. And this, of course, happens even here in Europe. But we should be better. We are the Madani nation. We have values. We have a strong tradition. We know that the vast majority of the Malays must be championed and protected. But we also acknowledge the need to accommodate or tolerate, but embrace every single Malaysian, whether Chinese or Indian or Daya or Kadazan. That makes a difference. That is how we showcase Malaysia as a dynamic, peaceful, Madani nation with values. Because we are human beings, we are not political animals. We have knowledge, we should have this wisdom to decide what is best. I don't decide to be born a Malay, or you to be born a Chinese, or Indian for that matter, or Daya. You are born. And that is the creation of Allah. That is why in Islam, in the Quran, clearly, explicitly pronounced that Allah has exalted the children of Adam. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. I mean, who are we then to dispute this fact? Why do we condone this sickening polemics, just preaching hatred and suspicion against one another? Strive, work, get our children to study hard, master the new knowledge and technology, master digital technology and artificial intelligence, accept the need to support energy transition in the country, and make sure that we do participate not only at the lower end but the higher end of semiconductor industry, of chips and design and fab. That's the challenge. Yes, retain yourself as a Muslim. Be a practicing Muslim. Believe in strong values for humanity. Love thy neighbor. Embrace everyone. Get everyone to succeed. Is that so difficult? No. So I'm addressing you. No, but too serious. No, relax. No, but I want to make use of the opportunity to share with you some, not my concern, our concern. Because if you tolerate this pedestrian talk among sick politicians, desperate, for power, disregarding moral and ethical values of humanity, then the country will go to the dogs. We are doing well. Zafrul mentioned about their relative success in terms of trade, investments. Again, a new record. And all issues seemingly unsurmountable in the past, including the conflict or the issues of deforestation or ecology or climate change or palm oil, referred to by Jogani, we are addressing. We are addressing from the position of strength. We are addressing as equals. People give regard to us. We don't only just seek appointments from the leaders. They also ask the opportunity to meet us, which has never happened in the past. Who cares about Malaysia in the past? But now, we are emerging as an important new player. Not because of Anwar or the cabinet alone, but because of the spirit of unity, the resolve of all of us to work hard, to showcase Malaysia as a successful multiracial country, progress in semiconductor, in energy, in data centers and AI, enhance the quality of education, and improve public service in terms of education or infrastructure and other fields. It's a major challenge. Have we been able to resolve every single problem? I would concede no. But we are beginning. We're trying very hard. But we do have challenges. Racial slurs. Actually, this group of leaders exploiting issue of race and religion, I tell you, in my honest submission, they're actually scared. Scared of this politically stable government, scared of the independence of the institutions of governance, including Anti-Corruption Commission or judicial independence, because they have squandered billions from public wealth. Mind you, we will not tolerate this. As you know, in a comparative advantage of nations, governance is also pivotal. You have to improve. You have to rebuild the trust and confidence of the public by setting a good example. Leaders have to acquire more knowledge. Then you can talk about our rakyat or students having to study and read more. Leaders must be of people of integrity, who believe in human values, who do not condone corruption and abuse of power. Then you can tell your civil servants and business community to follow suit. And that is essentially my message. To appeal to you to always work harder, study harder, and excel. Because disease of nations, other than corruption, is the culture of contentment or culture of complacency. We are the best. We are doing very well. We have 100,000 students overseas coming to our country. So what? Why do you compare with countries that can have 500,000 students, foreign students? I'm not saying that we should not say Alhamdulillah, but I say that we should always believe that we have the capacity to work harder and improve, because we cannot succeed if we have this, apa yang disebut budaya selesa, culture contentment. They say the MAC. You know what's MAC? Mutual Admiration Club. You see? I puji you, you puji I happy, you happy. I bagi you makan, you bagi I makan, and then keadaan, the situation remains the same. So, whilst we do acknowledge, yeah, because it is also an important trait, la in syakartum la azidannakum wa la in kafartum inna azabi syadid, la syadid. Maknanya, which means that you must also be thankful. Thankful to Allah for the peace, for the general welfare, for the benefits that we have obtained thus far. Okay? Because if you do not acknowledge that, you reject what's great, then it is the pain or the punishment that you will get because you don't know how to thank and appreciate. But that does not mean that you should be easily satisfied. Okay? That is why I am not particularly interested just to place what we have achieved, because you need to know what we have achieved in the 2 years. But the message is important, which means we can do it. We can improve. As I've said, for example, you can go to the immigration department and wait for 5 hours, but they can finish the work in 20 minutes. You can have the queue, you go to the hospital and see the lavatory at the lobby in atrocious condition, or we disburse funds quickly and resolve that. Because it's a hospital, you have clean toilets. You all went to school in the past, I think without exception, almost all schools will have problems with the toilets. You agree? Yeah. That is why people make fun of me. Anwar, PM toilet. Because the first year I was telling, I said, I cannot have my children and grandchildren throughout this country, from Perlis to Sabah, Sarawak, going to school and being taught about cleanliness, and they will see their own toilets. How much do we have to spend? Almost R1 billion. How many toilets repaired? 8,600. Can you imagine Malaysia having to face this? And then we send teachers to rural areas. We have housing for the army, the police, the teachers. They are in deplorable conditions. So, another 1 billion to repair and have proper maintenance. You see, so the empathy is important. Yes, we can talk about all this new technology and changes, but you must be reminded that the concern of the poor man and woman among the urban poor or the rural or the hinterland is our concern. It is morally unacceptable if you ignore the plight of the poor. So we have to deal with these issues, and I want you to also address these issues. They show concern. You go back. In your families. Maybe some of them are middle class, upper middle class, rather well to do, but never forget there are people out there who have not heard of Brussels, never been to any five-star hotel, never had that opportunity. So we say, Alhamdulillah for what we have got, but please, always try to do our best to contribute and serve our society, community.